sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it'll turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. Ooh, ooh, This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
I love the sounds of a happy, full church. It is so good to see you all today. Welcome to Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Tiffany Sapp, the minister of this church. My pronouns are she and her. Our opening hymn is number 298, which is in your gray hymnal. It is Wake Now My Senses. There are 5 verses. We are going to just sing the first 4 verses today. So please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing number 298 in the gray hymnal, Wake Now My Senses.
Thank
dependent threads weave around us, between us, and through the religions of the world. They bind us all together, these strings of the golden rule. In Christianity,
in everything, do unto others as you would have them do to you. For this is the law and the prophets.
Taoism,
regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain, and your neighbor's loss as your own loss.
Buddhism,
treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful.
Hinduism,
this is the sum of duty. Do not do to others what would cause pain if done to you.
Islam,
not one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you wish for yourself.
Judaism,
what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary.
And even when the words don't fit the formula, the ethic is there, like Wicca.
What you send out comes back threefold.
Humanism.
Humans long for and strive toward a world of mutual care and concern, free of cruelty and its consequences.
Indigenous American spirituality.
We are as much alive as we keep the earth alive.
And Unitarian Universalism.
We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part.
However we want to word it, and whatever source we want to draw from, the simple truth is this:
we need more kindness in this world.
Seeds of compassion planted in our hearts.
That in our connectedness, when we bless someone else, we bless ourselves too.
Please join us in a moment of silent contemplation as we prepare for our time together. Thank you. The Golden Rule was one of my first ethical lessons in childhood. I remember any time that I would do something rotten to my little sister, my parents would always challenge me by asking me how I would feel if someone did it to me. It's a very basic, foundational principle that can guide us as we try to live more ethical lives. In our Unitarian Universalist embrace of pluralism, this golden thread of the Golden Rule connects so many religious and non-religious perspectives. So it's worth looking a little deeper at it today. With that pluralist lens firmly in place, let's begin with the chalice lighting that was written specifically for an interfaith gathering.
We light this chalice, remembering and honoring our own tradition and celebrating the rich diversity of traditions among us. As we search for justice, meaning, and purpose, may we remember that justice, meaning, and purpose live first in deeply listening to one another. Good morning. I am Bradley. I'm your service leader today. Whether you're here alone or with a church buddy or with your family, whether you're so new you have no idea where the bathrooms are, or you have a key and people know your name, we are so thankful. We are so thankful that you're here and that we are better because of your presence. All of you are welcome here, and all of you is welcome here. Thank you. Please silence your cell phones. Please observe the perfume-free area zone. And please allow personal space for service animals while the animals are in place. This week we are at medium risk. This means that masks are required when we meet here together as a large group for Sunday worship, but that smaller groups of vaccinated people are welcome. Masks are optional. We will continue to have a YouTube option for people who cannot be here for whatever reason. And no matter what the risk level is, we have color-coded wristbands so that you can indicate your distancing needs. And it is especially important to stay home if you're sick.
I welcome you all. I welcome you all to our congregation. I charge you to hold our religious society close to your hearts and work to keep it vibrant and meaningful to you. For this church can only be what you make it. I charge the congregation to accept our new members with joy and embrace them as you now do one another, for they are truly one with us. I charge us all to treat each other with compassion and understanding, for only with love will we survive.
May our connections be strengthened day by day and year by year, and may the web of community be enhanced as we nurture and
On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, I welcome you into membership and full participation in this community. We hope to earn your trust and come to know you in true religious community.
We welcome you to our midst in the spirit of freedom. May your days among us be long and full, and may we prove worthy of your trust as we travel together. I am so happy to see these wonderful people join our community here as full members. Membership means that you can vote in our annual meeting that's coming up in April. You all joined just in time to hit that 60-day cutoff, so come and vote. You can also go to General Assembly as one of our delegates, but no one's going to be asking you to do that this year. And it also means acknowledging a deeper commitment to our community, which you all have done. One of the heartening things about this particular group of people here is that so many of them have already shown their commitment by finding ways to get involved here in religious education, social justice, religious services, gardening, and so much more. They are good examples of how you don't have to wait to officially join to become an active and vital part of this community, which makes it a great day for all of us to think about how we are participating in our community life. Our board and our membership team just this week have redone our congregation's connection form to represent the opportunities to connect and serve that we have available here and now in this congregation, and the updated form is in your bulletin today. If you're inspired by these folks today to get more involved in either the fellowship opportunities that connect us or the volunteer opportunities that keep our congregation healthy, we invite you to spend some time contemplating this form. If you're already plugged in, do not feel the need to do additional necessary paperwork. This is for, and amen to that. This is for people who are not yet plugged in and want to be. So if you're the sort of person who keeps a pen in your pocket or your purse and you want to fill it out and stick it in the offering bowl at the end of the service, we would love that to be your offering to us today. If you're the kind of person who wants to take it home, contemplate it, think about it, that is great too. But we wanted to show you who might be a little newer here all the different ways you can get connected, just like these people here have done already. So, enough about that. Our special music today is a Pete Seeger classic. This is Lenore and Karis with If I Had a Hammer.
There are 4 verses to this song. If you would like to sing at any point, at any time, you are welcome to. We highly encourage you, however, to sing with us on the final verse. Turn that toward you just a little bit more. All right. If I had a hammer, if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, yeah, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Well, I got a hammer, and I got a bell, and I got a bell, and I got a song to sing, all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the hammer of freedom, it's a song of love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. And what kind of hammer? It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
With gratitude for this growing and vibrant community, we come together to share our joys and our sorrows. If you'd like to share a joy or a concern in person, you can use these candles cards that are located on the back table right there. And if you'd like to share a joy or a sorrow from a distance, you can email me at minister@hvuuc.org. And I have a few things to share today. Amy Bond, a longtime member of this congregation, is in the hospital and has been for some time. Those of you who know her history know that the last few years have been a struggle health-wise. And the struggle is especially tough right now. Amy has asked that I share with you all that things are not going well. They're not going well for her at all right now. Because of extensive safety precautions around her hospital room, it is difficult to visit her right now. And because of her failing health, it is difficult, though not impossible, to reach her by phone or text message. Myself and a few caring team members have been able to be in touch with her, though, and when I saw her last night, we talked about how there's a whole community of people here who love her. So that's what I ask we do today for Amy, that we love her, and we send her love and hold her in our hearts. I also wish to light a candle for all of our people who are affected by Eastman's restructuring this week. We are part of an interconnected web, and for the Tri-Cities, Eastman's web reaches deep into our community. Whenever someone's livelihood is threatened, stress is high, and so we hold all of our Eastman people in care this week. I also wish to light a candle for drag queens and the entire LGBTQ community, transgender and non-conforming people that unjust and hurtful bills have targeted this week in Tennessee and throughout the world. Please continue to hold these folks who are very much a part of us in care. And I wish to light a candle for the people and the land of East Palestine and the watersheds that flow out of it that are being affected by the train derailment disaster this week. While news outlets have been assuring people downstream that they are safe and they have nothing to worry about, I am personally very close with someone who works with that particular chemical for a living, and he says that we should be worried. So for the workers, for the residents, for the animals, for the plants, and for the water itself, we pray. And beloved community, that is a lot to have to name on just one Sunday morning. From the intensely personal to the near global, it's a lot of worry and tension for us to carry, which means that this is an invitation to hold these things in meditation, contemplation, and prayer, and it is also an invitation to be gentle with ourselves and each other this week. We are all carrying something today. This is an invitation to offer each other and ourselves grace and understanding however we can, and an invitation to lay these burdens down into the arms of a community of care that is bigger than any of us, in the lighting of candles and in the singing of loving kindness. So if you wish to light your own candle, please go around and form a line by the window, and Bradley will assist you. And if you're on this side of the building, please go around through the back door so that you don't pass in front of the camera. And if you wish us to light a candle for you instead of coming up, please raise your hand and I will acknowledge you. And at the end, I will light a candle for you. And we light our first candle always for you who are not in the building, but are ever in our hearts and minds. light a final candle for all that remains unspoken in our hearts and minds.
Once upon a time, there was a golden retriever named Carl, and he was a very good boy.
I am. Ever since I was a pup, my mom taught me the golden rule. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Whenever I didn't know how to treat my siblings in my litter, I would just think about how I wanted to be treated and do that.
He was friends with a Persian cat named Princess Donut, and she tolerated him, as cats do.
Carl, what are you doing today while the food givers are at work?
Today is Random Act of Kindness Day, and I'm going to do randomly kind things for all of our roommates.
Well, that sounds interesting. Who are you going to start with?
I'm going to give Samantha one of my bones.
You're going to give Samantha the rabbit one of your bones?
Oh yeah, bones are my favorite treat. She'll love it.
And off he went before Princess Donut could say another word.
Dogs.
Sometime later, Carl came back, dejected.
What's wrong, Carl?
Samantha didn't like the bone at all. She even thumped her feet at me. She was so mad.
I wonder why.
It's a great mystery. I guess she's just in a bad mood. I always loved bones.
Maybe treats aren't the best vehicle for cross-species bonding?
Maybe you're right. I'll try a toy next. I'm going to give Mongo my very best tennis ball. It's going to be hard to part with it since I love it so much. But it would be worth it to make Mongo happy.
Mongo, the snake?
Oh yeah. I can't wait to run and play with Mongo. He'll just love chasing after the ball.
Carl, how is Mongo gonna chase the ball?
Well, with his legs.
His legs.
Yeah.
His legs, Carl?
Yeah, that's how chasing the ball works, Donut.
Carl, does Mongo the snake have legs?
Well, I guess he doesn't.
Do you think that if you want to play with Mongo, that maybe you should ask him how he wants to play?
Carl blinked at Donut, and then moved off at a slower pace, deep in thought.
I hope he doesn't hurt himself with all that thinking.
Carl was gone for a long time, which gave Donut a chance to catch up on her Sudoku, but eventually he came back.
Oh, hey Carl, how did things go with Mongo?
Oh, Donut, it was great. I asked Mongo if he wanted to play, and he said yes. So I asked him how. And he said there was a sunny spot in the yard that he never gets to visit because it's too far away for him. So he got on my back, and I took him to the yard, and we basked in the sun.
You basked?
Yeah, it was the best. Nice and warm, and I even rolled on my back and felt the sun on my belly. And Mongo loved it.
Well, gosh, Carl, I think I might be a little jealous. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that went so well it gave me another idea. So when I brought Mongo back to his terrarium, I stopped back by Samantha's rabbit hutch and apologized for the bones and asked her what she wanted.
Really? And what did she want?
Clover. Honestly, I tried some and I'm not a fan, but Samantha liked it and that's the important thing.
It sounds like you learned something today.
Yeah, when I was a puppy, the golden rule, do to others as you want them to do to you, made a lot of sense. And it worked really well when everyone I was with was also a puppy. But now I have a lot of different friends who might need different things than what I want.
Carl, you discovered the platinum rule. Do to others as they would have you do to them.
Which means I have to ask them what they would like.
That's right. Now let's go get some catnip.
Don't I?
Oh, just kidding, Carl. I'll go have some catnip. You can have whatever it is that dogs like.
The end.
Thank you for that. The adventures of open-hearted Carl and critical Princess Donut really show us the entire point of today's message without elaboration. But I'm going to elaborate anyway. The golden rule works. The golden rule works when we are dealing with people who have the same thoughts, needs, abilities, and tastes as us. But we're not. We're not all alike. And the golden rule can really fall short the more different we are from each other. In a lot of ways, this is something we already know. When we bring meals to people's homes, we bring what they want to eat, not bringing what we want to eat. And we call someone by their pronouns, not our own. And we buy someone a gift based on their tastes and interests, not our own. And as kids, we're not born knowing these things. When we're at the developmental stage where we don't even possess the most basic empathy, we learn the golden rule is a starting point, a stepping stone to true empathy. How would you feel if someone did that to you? It's a great start, and one that many religious and ethical traditions invite us to start with. But it's only a start, and it falls short quickly. As kids, we have to be coached to not give our diabetic grandma our favorite cookie for her birthday. And it takes some help to realize that Dad doesn't want our favorite action figure for Father's Day, unless he's into that sort of thing. To quote Maya Angelou, when we know better, we do better. And a lot of us here know better already, especially with simple things like food and gifts. But we want to go beyond the simple and the obvious. In our striving for justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, in our goal of world community with peace, justice, and liberty for all, we seek to become aware of where our own gaps in understanding each other might be. For example, I'm an extrovert, if you hadn't figured that out already. I have been enamored with the idea of the surprise party from a very young age. When I'm in a golden rule mindset, I may think that the best thing I could do for anyone is to throw them a surprise party. Who here would actually enjoy a surprise party? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you here would absolutely hate it if someone threw a surprise party for you? Okay, so I'm seeing a majority in favor of surprise party, but not an overwhelming majority. There's a pretty decent split here. So me assuming that someone is just as extroverted as I am would be a huge mistake on my part. If I'm wanting to do something nice for the other person, not for me, then I should really consider if they really want that sort of gift. The more differences we hold with someone, the less likely that the golden rule will work. Communication is a huge one in any multi-generational setting like us. So if I needed to reach out to you sometime this following week about something relevant to our church life together, what would be the best way for me to do it? Who here would want a phone call about it? All right, y'all are out of luck. I don't have time for that. Who would want an email? Okay. Who would want a Facebook message? Who would want a text message? Yep. A handwritten letter? You just keep dreaming about that one, y'all. Who wants telepathy? Who wants me to just implant it into your head? All right, you've given me permission. Just know that. How about a telegraph? All right, yeah. I gotta love the contrary, folks. Thank you. Some of you just want to hear from me, period, I guess. But the point, of course, is how much effective would we be in our relationships if we went the extra mile to understand how each person wants to be communicated with? That might be impossible for us to know every single preference of every single person here, but our visitors get to indicate whether they want an email, a text message, or a phone call. And as we do more intentional committee work with each other, we can find that sort of thing out as well. So this awareness that we really are all different, it's an invitation for each of us to let go of our own perspective and get curious about what the other person might be thinking, feeling, wanting, and needing. It's a chance to let go of our assumptions that someone might be just like us and instead find out who they really are. The more diverse our congregation gets in terms of generations, abilities, genders, beliefs, cultures, and families of origin, the more important this sort of curiosity becomes. A large part of what has left marginalized people marginalized is that the powerful person in charge unintentionally narrows their thinking to only encompass the people who are just like them and makes decisions that marginalize the people who are not like them as a result. And all of that still falls under the golden rule for the person making that decision. Like when I was in high school, my co-ed soccer coach tried to divide us into shirts and skins. Sure, he did not mean to exclude me and the 4 other girls who had earned these highly competitive spots, but he didn't stop to look outside his own perspective until he turned and saw all 4 of us kind of going like this, waiting for him to realize what he'd said. And he learned. Next time, he brought those little vests for the opposing team to wear for the next time. So we can learn. We can be thoughtful and intentional about using the platinum rule by investigating another person's perspective with clarifying questions and empathy. When we create new spaces and renovate old spaces, we can see if the chairs are properly spaced to allow passage of a wheelchair. We can properly mic everyone so that even folks with hearing impairments can hear. We can provide some large print hymnals, which we have, and if you need one and can't find one, you know, I might be able to help you find them. And we can make sure that folks at home have the very best access that our technology can provide. All of this is the platinum rule. We can also stay curious and open when we get to know someone, not assuming that every person we meet is in a relationship or that they're in a heterosexual relationship for that matter. We can assume that not everyone believes the same things as us and celebrate that diversity. I think we've got pretty good practice on that one here. We can be thoughtful and kind when making plans that involve money, making room for the diversity of financial capabilities and not assuming that everyone can do what we can do. And we can make sure there's always a good vegetarian option when we eat together. The list can go on and on, but really what it comes down to is the more we are in the majority, the easier it is to think the golden rule works and make assumptions. And the more marginalized we are, the more valuable the platinum rule becomes as a door to being seen and understood, brought in to the circle of community by being thought of without have to speak up and remind people that you're here. And I mess this up weekly. This is not something that I have figured out. This is not something that I think any of us will be perfect at, because it's about relationships. And relationships take effort and asking and trying and messing up and finding out then how we can make it right. And that's me all day long, y'all. But what are we to do if we can no longer assume that the people we want to connect with and build community with are not just like us? Do we give up? Do we seek out only those who are just like us to avoid the awkwardness of not knowing what they want? I really hope not. The answer to all of this is simple for me to tell you about, but harder to do. The answer is to make an effort to get to know each other and to ask people what they want. And the converse as well, which is to ask for what you want when you find yourself in a situation where people are unhelpfully guessing wrong at what you might need or who you might be. When I'm hanging out with my colleagues, I will often hear a mantra that can see us through these complexities. Clarity is kind. Often in the name of politeness, we are vague. But in the name of kindness, which is not the same as politeness, clarity is key. So we seek clarity and consent by asking people what they want, instead of assuming the burden that we have to already know what people want, or assuming that they must want the same things that we want because we're normal, because we know we're not normal here. The clarity of the platinum rule says, do unto others as they would have you do unto them, is really already embodied in how we try to live and work together here as Unitarian Universalists. Instead of expecting everyone to just know how we treat each other, we spell it out in our covenant. And the covenant that you all here wrote a couple of years ago has threads of the platinum rule woven all throughout it. We covenant to honor our differences, meaning we already know not to assume that we're already the same. We covenant to communicate directly and honestly. That means we can ask for what we want and not punish ourselves and others for not knowing what we want already. Clarity is kind, so we communicate directly. I think the concept here is not complicated. Once our eyes are open to the idea that we catch fish by offering them worms, not chocolate cake, then it really does make more sense to treat others the way they want to be treated, not the way we want to be treated. And as we strive to be a more inclusive place, we see how the more different a person is from us, the less we can assume about what they want, like, and need. The trick today, like many days here, isn't understanding the concept, but in the commitment to intentionally practice it together. That is what community is: learning about each other instead of assuming, inviting people to teach us how to love them. May it be so as the platinum threads of our covenant stitch us all together.
We have come together to share our deepest concerns, speaking and singing words of inspiration and hope. We have committed ourselves to do what we can to ease the burdens of those who suffer, to stand for decency and compassion. We have pledged to work for a more wholesome environment for us and for all the generations that will follow. But these are just words. The hymns we sing are just songs. All our reflections are just idle thoughts. When we convert them all into loving and responsible action throughout the week, then and only then will this morning become what we want it to be, a time of transformation. Thank you for being with us today. We hope you'll stay for coffee hour. We will have cake to celebrate our new members and the previous generations of new members we had when COVID restrictions kept us from having our cake and eating it too. We'd like our kids and families to make sure to be back next week. Weather permitting, the K through 5 class is going to have a piñata event after church next Sunday. The young at heart of all ages are invited to attend. Another announcement, in my teacher mailbox, I was given a whole bunch of coupons to an ice cream shop in Gray. I'm assuming the intention was for this business to have me give these coupons to my children. I doubt my children's parents will travel 45 minutes to get free ice cream. So instead, I'm going to offer it to you all. So if you have a child or there's a kid on this planet that you kind of like, you can come to me during coffee hour, and I'll give you this. It's the ice cream joint off exit 13. So there you go. It's, what is it? Enjoy one free kid scoop on us. It does not expire. So yeah. If you're visiting us today, we are especially grateful for your presence. If you want to learn more about us and you're here in person, please go visit our visitors table. It's the green table by the door. Pick up a brochure and sign the visitor book. If you're online, you can get more information by visiting our website or emailing visitor@hvuuc.org.
I'm so glad we could be together today. Next week, I will be out of the pulpit. Starting this afternoon, I will be on a professional development week and will be unavailable for the week. I am so grateful that this congregation creates time and space for me to go hang out with a pile of unread books and give them my attention and to think deeply so that I can keep growing as a person and keep growing as a minister. So while I'm out, you're going to have a real treat. Our own Dana and Bob are going to have a conversation about conservation. They have been working in the field of regenerative agriculture, and they bring a hopeful tone to the work of environmental repair that I personally find really refreshing. So I hope you get to come back and enjoy this dynamic duo and the piñata next week. And one more very special announcement for us today. We are pleased to announce that we have hired our next Director of Religious Education. During the month of January, we received 9 resumes for the position, something that I now understand to be really high for this kind of position. Earlier in February, myself, a representative of the RE Collaborative, and a representative of the Personnel Committee interviewed 3 excellent candidates for the position, and we selected a Justin Ridley to be our Director of Religious Education starting March 1st. Justin comes to us with an impressive amount of education, an open and curious mind, and extensive experience working with families and volunteers. Justin sent us a bio so that we could get to know him a little better. Justin is excited to work with HVUUC as their DRE. He has lived in Tennessee for the past 10 years and is originally from Pennsylvania. He holds degrees in religion and philosophy, theological studies, and soul care. During his time in Tennessee, he has served as a soccer coach and as a hospital chaplain. He enjoys hiking, biking on the Tweetsie Trail, and reading. He resides in Jonesboro with his wife, Stephanie, their 2 daughters, and 2 dogs. And he's here today. Not to work, but just to get to know us a little better. Justin, will you stand up? Thank you for being with us here today, and we have cake. So, my community, let's hold on to these words and this calling until we meet again. When the world goes mad, become wildly kind to everyone. 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 My love, you cannot control much, but you can control how you treat others. In these breaking news, heartbreaking times when nothing feels certain, let your raw kindness be a certainty. Allow your compassion to become a North Star stamped up in the sky for others to follow back home. Let's sing our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home. This is also the time when we collect the offerings, so if you can give something to help us do this transformational work, we would greatly appreciate it. Our closing hymn for this month is Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in the Teal hymnal. Please rise with us in body or spirit for our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, number 1064.